It's your boy Al Mega in the building, and today we got an awesome guest from the GeekFest Film is on tour right now. When you love them Ghostbusters, but when I think about Ghostbusters and film and all this stuff, I gotta think about my extended family over at Cinema, Crusaders, and Sloppy Spoilers, right? And when I said, "Yo, anybody want to hang out with an awesome director over here that did something for Ghostbusters," and Bracey, my man, like, I need to be here. So welcome, my brother. How you doing?
It is indeed a pleasure once again to bask in the glow that is the great Al Mega, the Prince of Puerto Rico.
Let's go. The real one. I was actually born there. Let's get it done. But with that, thanks for wanting to hang out, because today we got an amazing person on deck. I mean, homie, he's busy director, animator. He's a business owner, through Abyssmal Entertainment. He's right now touring on GeekFest FilmFest with the amazing film Ghostbusters Reanimated. Let's bring the one, the only, the future legend in the making, Steven Shea. How you doing?
Hello. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, my brother. I appreciate you taking some time, bro. And a shout out to GeekFest FilmFest and Bill for the hookup over here to have this, chance to talk to you. This creative journey, this awesome little cartoon you got going out there, a fan film, if you will. Showing some love. So I always like to dig in before we do anything on origin story. So first off, where you from, OG? Where you at now? And why Ghostbusters? Show me some love on that.
Sure. I was actually born in Louisiana, but grew up in the Florida Keys on an island. Okay. Lived in Florida till about 7 years ago, and then came to Los Angeles.
Gilligan's Island, right?
No. It was actually the Flipper Island. We lived on Coral Key, which was the island that Flipper lived on.
We're Flipper. Oh shit! Did you get Flipper's autograph ever? No.
Well, we hung out with quite a few different dolphins, but no, it's I'm in Los Angeles now based in LA.
Gotcha. A whole bunch of other type of flippers. Gotcha.
Exactly.
And what's that origin story like when it comes into that early fandom of yours and love into pop culture? Was it something you found on your own? Was it somebody, put you on? Was it mommy, daddy, titi, uncle? What happened here?
I mean, I don't remember an exact moment necessarily of stumbling into Ghostbusters, but I was a hardcore Ghostbusters kid, and wanted to be a Ghostbuster when I grew up, and eventually got into making horror movies and a lot of spooky stuff, and so it was always kind of in the back of my mind. And then nowadays, with the Ghostbuster resurgence and everything, we had the opportunity during the downtime of the pandemic to try to do some projects at home, and so we ended up doing this one.
I also hear you are a Ghostbuster. Like, yo, what's up, bro? Are you trying to put this equipment together? What's going on?
Right. Yeah.
I love it. Nah, bro, I love that type of fandom. But what was it about Ghostbusters, though, particularly that got you, kind of into that fandom?
I think it's the idea of science. I was a big science kid. Really loved studying science, and a lot more into science fact than science fiction. Went to space camp. Grew up watching shuttle launches from Cape Canaveral, so I think the idea of that blending science with the idea of the afterlife is is really interesting and inspiring, to kind of learn more about that kind of technology. And I think everyone on the planet's united by the fact that we're all going to die someday, and we're all going to have to deal with the afterlife. And so it's kind of a universal concept.
Not so much united, because some people are rushing the death of others sooner rather than later.
Well, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers. If I was a Superman, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Would you not know the shit that I would bring onto the world? That would be so dangerous. Anyway,
yeah.
But with that, when did the creative bug hit you? When did you get that bite in the ass, if you will, for you to say,
sure,
all right, I got to start creating. I want to get into this. What happened? Who did it? And how did you do it?
I was 16. And I think every filmmaker has that movie, that one film that they see that kind of inspires them to make movies. And ironically, mine was Scream, the original Scream, and kind of pulled back the curtain for me. And I went and I grew up in the Keys, so there wasn't a lot of opportunities, but I got every job I possibly could and worked with the Film Commission. And then the first set I ever got to go on was True Lies with James Cameron.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And I was
Ooh.
16, and I was there on the bridge when they land the Harrier jets and everything, and I got to see all that in
Oof.
person. And I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Oof, are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so
But
haven't stopped. My production company, Abyssmal Entertainment, actually celebrates 20 years this year.
20 years in the business. So
Yeah, I saw that, and I was thinking,
wow.
wow, you're a really young guy to have a company that's 20 years old. That's really impressive.
It started small, of course, but now it's gotten a lot bigger, and we're doing a lot bigger projects on bigger scales and things. So,
What has been the most difficult part of that journey?
it's a roller coaster. There's things that are really high and things that are really low. I mean, there are definitely some times where we weren't doing well, and you release a movie and it doesn't make any money, and then you're kind of like, oh crap, I just spent a lot of money to make a movie that doesn't have any return. And so those situations are pretty rough. But then something comes along that does really well, and it's definitely a big roller coaster for sure. I mean, the whole industry is, especially now after the pandemic, during the pandemic.
So talk about Clark's then, because that was your first one going back 20 years, if you want to talk about it to the day, right?
Yeah, that was Clark's was a fan film, I guess, of the time, spoofing Kevin Smith's View Askew universe. And just got a bunch of friends together and made something cool, and which, I mean, really, even 20 years
Much
later,
like
was
Kevin
still
did.
pretty much. Yeah, exactly. It's still pretty much the same. You still make a bunch of cool stuff with your friends, even today.
Absolutely.
There's a great tradition of that when you think of like Kevin Smith, Robert Townsend, just a bunch of people. That's how they started. So it's great to see people are still doing that sort of thing and making a real go of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's fun. It's always exciting.
So talk about this, because while we were in the back room, and I'm going to show the trailer right after this question. But you were telling me, I learned how to do animation. This is our first animation, and we did and learned this during COVID. Holy shit! So first, I applaud you for doing something during that time instead of bitching about shit. Hey, you took the opportunity. Let me learn something new that I could add to my resume. Your amazing resume at that shit.
Thank you.
So talk about that. What happened? What was that like that made you want to do something like this? Especially during that time.
Well, and we're in Los Angeles, so everything here got shut down hardcore. You could go to the grocery store and get gas, and that was about it. So there was a good 3-month period before the unions could figure out what to do to put in protocols to allow production to go back into place.
Right.
So for the first month, I was just we're all stuck at home. And I was like, all right, well, we got to figure out ways to produce without leaving our house. And so animation was really the biggest concept. And so I did everything through Adobe Character Animator and After Effects and Premiere. And I just started watching YouTube tutorials. They have some great tutorials available.
Apparently.
And just started teaching myself how to animate. And then, got a local artist involved. Logan Vanderwolf, who helped design some characters.
Wonderful.
And then I took them in and colored them and then rigged them, and we kind of messed around and figured out how to make it happen, and then put this whole short together built off of that.
So how was that like, building a team to create this product then? I mean, was it easy for you? Did you know what you were doing, or was that also yet another set of tools you had to learn?
It definitely, I tried to get as much done myself as possible, just for financial stake, really, without having to hire an entire team to do it.
I hear you, brother.
Pocket
friendly.
Right, yeah. And so really there was only a couple of us. I definitely did reach out. Adobe Animation has some fantastic customer service also. Like, they'll actually call you and talk to you and talk you through things, which is great. And so they answered a lot of questions. And this short got featured as a Adobe featured project of the month it came out.
Nice.
They actually highlighted it, which was cool. And but I mean, really, the whole short, on the graphic side, it was me. It was Logan who did drawings. It was Jason Murphy who did all of our visual effects, and then Scott Ufelder is a DP friend of ours that helped put together some of the shot structures and the coloring on it. And Rob Ryder, who did all the sound and music and made his own version of Ghostbusters for it. And so it was a pretty tight knit team, and then 3 actors. So.
Now, can you do my experience was with Flash animation in school. So can you do all the drawing as well as the animation in the Adobe
I'm
suite?
a terrible artist. You draw in you can draw in Photoshop.
Honestly.
Like everything goes through Photoshop directly into Character Animator. So you'll literally take your Photoshop file and import it, and if you label everything correctly, it automatically rigs it for you.
Okay,
nice.
I was wondering because like in Flash, if you were artistic, you could actually do the drawings within the program itself and then go ahead and animate it.
Sure.
Oh,
That's really cool that it'll do the bone rigging for you. That's nice.
Yeah, it's really user friendly.
So here we go, folks. We're talking all about this awesome animation and all, right? And now Bracey's gonna have a ton of questions after this because I've been seeing him bite his lip. He's like, wait a minute.
As soon as Al told me about this opportunity, I went to your YouTube channel and binged everything I could.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. So let's check it out, folks. This is the awesome trailer you could check out on GeekFest for the full film. So you better check it out. Check it out.
The equipment you said doesn't exist? We figured out how to make it. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Oh, we ain't afraid of no ghosts. I am digging it. Bracey, floor is yours, kiddo. Because I know I've been taking over, but now this is your baby. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, this was incredibly fun. I love the story idea. Obviously, you did this before the most recent Ghostbusters came out. But as somebody who's a fan of the franchise, I love that you maintain continuity. And I wish the 2016 film had done that. I know as a fan and many other fans, the trailer misled us into thinking it was going to be within continuity, and I think that hurt the film that it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I love the fact that you maintain the continuity in actually addressing some of the things they would address in the new film about like, nobody's talked about Ghostbusters for 30 years or more, and just the ideas there, and you bring back things. I love the picture of Vigo in the background, the psychoreactive slime,
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, so many fun things.
But that whole slime stuff was so funny. Because the poor guy is like, yo, how much money we spent on this? I mean, I can only guess what he was getting. Oh my god!
And I love like the kind of Mulder and Scully dynamic. You got your true believers, and you got the guy who's not. And and it's contemporary. We see them 3D print the material. The mechanism in it. I thought your innovation on the proton pack was really cool too. The idea of like, we can barely afford what we've got. We're not going to have a containment system. What are we going to do? So I thought the film was really sharp. And kudos to your voice actors. I've done some acting myself, and I thought your performers were really spot on. So it was very, very enjoyable, and it hit me in two places as a fan of both the movies and also the Ghostbusters animated series. So really enjoyed that to pieces.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, and that's definitely from the love of the animated series as well. And Matt and Kira and Ruben, who are our voice actors, they're all big fans too. So it's kind of like everybody involved was excited just to kind of be able to be in that universe. And with Afterlife being delayed for a couple of years, Ghostbuster fans were kind of chomping at the bit for a while to get anything. And so we released a couple months before Afterlife came out, just to kind of, help build on that buzz too.
I particularly enjoyed Ruben as the skeptic because, the voice of reason, and the other two are just blindly charging into the unknown.
Yeah.
And what I really like about this too is this is so Adult Swimish that you could sell it on that narrative. It really is a fun, different take on it too. But you said it's a throwback to the OG, but a little bit more adult. Because again, please, thank you, people that you make cartoons for us. We still like cartoons. My parents laugh at me like, you still watch cartoons? I'm like, have you watched these cartoons? They're not for kids.
Right. Yeah, all those kids that watched cartoons grew up. And so now you're still watching cartoons.
All right. So like Al really covered a lot of the Ghostbusters stuff, like what drew you into that. And, that was a fun idea to animate, I guess, because like you said, it was topical at the time and everything. But I went through as much of your catalog as I could before we started the interview, and I got to say, I'm an old horror fanatic on top of things. I even spent years shooting horror films myself.
Nice.
Just short films. I never got into like a feature length. And one thing that struck me is you have several that are just a minute long. And I know from experience how difficult it is to tell a story in just
the ladies don't like that though.
Yeah, having like when you get there and you try to do things like I would submit things like Indie Mogul and Tryon Films, Film Riot, stuff like that. You know, they would have constraints, but you very consistently turned out really good stuff with just a minute time frame, and I was very impressed with that. You managed to tell a story in that time frame, and I can see the technical side of it, the lightings, the setup. What kind of equipment are you using, camera wise, lighting, things like that?
Sure. Every project sometimes is different, you know, depending. We have some movies that have bigger budgets and some that have much smaller budgets. So it kind of depends on the project. Those short 1 minute, we did 3 1-minute shorts for Crypt TV. We had gotten hired to produce that for them.
Nice.
Yeah, I did see one of them was for Crypt TV, and I thought, like, that's cool. I didn't know Crypt TV kind of outsourced. I thought they were all in-house.
Bracey's writing scripts as we speak.
Sure. No, and I know now they're kind of getting more into the crypto space, the NFT space.
And so are you guys.
And so, so
under Abyssmal. Yeah, I see that. I saw that.
Nice.
We just launched our first NFT this week. You know, kind of dipping our toes in the whole crypto space.
Man, the only way to learn is to dip them toes, you know?
Absolutely. But we had made those shorts for Crypt, and one of them they ended up using. And so the other 2 we just released on our own. And then we also licensed another short that we had done with them called Crib. That's a 4-minute short. But they do distribute, and they do a lot in-house. I think nowadays, I mean, that was a couple years back. So I think nowadays they do mostly in-house or studio work. But back then they would distribute a lot more.
No, that's really cool, because I'm a big fan of a lot of YouTube filmmakers, including Crypt TV, Black Box TV, obviously Film Riot, Indie Mogul, all these little independent filmmakers, and it just warms my heart to a tremendous degree to see this happen, because I know when I was making my own films back in the day, you know, you would have had to go to school or intern on a lot or do something, but as you said, with YouTube, anything I wanted to know, I could look up and learn. So like that's a very valuable thing to have, that you don't necessarily have to go to film school. It's just a matter of getting the equipment and learning how to use it properly. Another thing I'd like to ask is I was beyond delighted to see that you got Dee Wallace for one of your shorts, Elixir. That was exciting, and she was so good in it.
Yeah, she's great, and she lives here in LA, so that was you know, a lot easier, because it would be like, hey, could you come out and shoot this for a day? And then her daughter Gabrielle Stone stars in it. So it was cool to do a mother-daughter, who are actually a mother and daughter team, and they'd want to do some more projects together too. So it all worked out really well. But yeah, Dee's fantastic, and
I want to ask you though, because you also did a flick called Surviving SuperCon. I mean, who doesn't love conventions? And let me tell you, then you dug deep.
I didn't have time enough to watch that before the interview, but that, like, watching the trailer.
So talk about that. Let me, you know, again, I know we're here to focus on the stuff you got on GeekFest too, but I also want people to see how diverse you are, because you know, you do short films, you do documentaries, you've even worked with musicians such as Kitty in a Casket, music videos.
If you look at the reels, they've got several projects that are music videos, which are really entertaining. I love all the behind the scenes stuff as well.
Yeah, isn't that fire?
Photo shoots, and I was, as soon as I saw the corporate reel, I was kind of surprised, like, you know, who's going to hire somebody called Abyssmal for your corporate shoot?
It's probably been a hindrance more than I realize, but we've produced over 400 pieces of corporate content in the past, decade.
I would hire you in a heartbeat. I would hire you in Abyssmal. I mean, okay, because the results won't be Abyssmal, so I get it.
Right. And
I get it.
And yeah, I mean, I came up with Abyssmal in high school, and it
that's-
was all based on Dungeons and Dragons. You know,
Oh,
from the
I
Abyss.
thought that was.
I love it.
I thought that was called based on customer expectations. Only playing.
We've had a couple times where people kind of put their nose up and they're kind of like, oh, well, I can't hire that company. And it's like, all right,
Oh, really?
but there are plenty of people that do.
You know what? Is their loss at the end of the day, Steven? That's
Right.
real talk. Because again, it ain't about the name. Look at Comic Crusaders. We don't just cover comics. We cover movies. We cover folks like you. We cover TV and I mean everything. Bracey knows.
Yeah, that's really nice to see because, like, you know, obviously with I dived into the horror shorts first after the Ghostbusters, so like that was really fun to see. But as I got further and further in, seeing the other things you did, I was really impressed with the diversity of your portfolio of talent there. And I'm still
Thank you.
Partway through the interrogation series, which is really, really funny. So you know, being able to transition from horror to comedy is not something everybody can do. But you guys are pretty talented over there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we like to have fun. For sure.
I'm sorry. So let's get back to that SuperCon. So what's that about?
Oh yeah.
Real quick, and then I also have another question because obviously you're a music fan, so then you have another documentary short that I got to talk about.
Okay,
talk about this one.
Yeah, Surviving SuperCon was a feature-length documentary released in November that follows a behind-the-scenes look at the biggest mom-and-pop Comic-Con in the country, which was Florida SuperCon.
Oh, that's mom and pop.
It was at the time when we shot the movie, which is no spoiler alert. They ended up selling the convention to ReedPop, which is the biggest convention owner on the planet. But it was a husband and wife team that ran a 60,000 person event. And it's nuts. Like running around with them for 4 days over the weekend, putting out fires, things I never could have imagined happening. And
I gotta watch.
Really crazy.
I want to do a show, you know, God willing, if I could make that money, fly in my Crusaders to help me run the show, and we fucking rock it out like bosses. Do you imagine?
It's nuts. So it's a pretty crazy movie. It's very funny.
All right, and there's another thing close to the heart of all fans, music, and you celebrate Record Store Day. So what's this Vinyl or Bust, the attack?
Sure.
What's that about?
We did a one-day documentary with this with a punk band called The Attack, which has done a bunch they do a bunch of some national tours. I actually got to go on them and tour with the Misfits twice.
Nice.
Which is my favorite band of all time, is Misfits.
Wait a minute. Wait, don't you even? You're not going to skip over that. Wait a minute. How the hell did you land an opportunity to tour with that legendary band, son?
That was incredible. Yeah, I'm good friends with this band, The Attack, and they actually have pretty much the biggest screen printing company in Florida, and they ended up producing a lot of band merch, and they ended up doing all the Misfits merchandice. And so as part of the deal, they got to go on tour with them as one of the opening acts, and so they had me go on to video and photograph and hang out, and that was incredible.
That was the only time you saw Steven shaking on the camera. Shit.
I mean, when you get to have Jerry Only take you out to breakfast at Cracker Barrel, it's like
say what? He took you out to breakfast?
Yeah, it was amazing.
How did that happen? Okay, wait a minute.
I mean,
tell me the lead up to that conversation when you get breakfast at Cracker Barrel, which is delicious, by the way.
Which is delicious. No, I mean, you're on tour, and we drove in a van behind their van, and you go city to city. And so, you know, everybody has to eat. So you'll go out to dinner, you'll go out to breakfast, you'll go out to whenever, and everybody hangs out because it's one big family on tour.
So fire.
It was amazing. Definitely some of the best times of my life, for sure.
Do you have like any incredibly crazy stories from that particular tour?
That Cracker Barrel
that you
story.
Can share.
That you can share, yeah.
Yeah, not anything like crazy, but that Cracker Barrel story is funny because we all went out, like everybody went together, all the bands, and someone came up to Jerry at the Cracker Barrel and he's like, "Oh, hey Jerry, where's Glenn?" You know, Glenn Danzig.
Oh no, they didn't.
Oh my god!
And of course, like all of them wear Misfits merchandise 100% of the time, so it's easy to pick them out in the crowd. But he's like, this is way before the reunion, but he's like, he's in LA where he belongs. And I just thought that was such a funny moment.
I would have died, yo. Oh my god, I would have just put my head down and just smirked. Like,
there's always that guy out there. There's always that guy.
They also had talk about guys. They had a thing called Punishers, where we'd get to a venue and you get there like a few hours early, and they would every now and then you'd have some guy out there with a shopping cart with like 200 records in it, waiting to get his autograph. 5 hours before the show started. 200
records,
and they would be like, "Oh, it's a Punisher! Look, these guys are here to punish us. They're Punishers." And I thought that was a funny.
Yeah. Oh wait a minute. I gotta.
Hey, come on, Al. Think about the cons we've been to, where like you see cats carrying in their long boxes.
But 300 though. I would say, fuck you. I'll do 10 at most because I know what you're up to on this shit.
Yeah. It's like 2 eBay.
Exactly. You better pick your 10 favorite right now because I'm not signing no 300 shit of nothing. Fuck off.
They had fun moments like that.
You laugh, Bracey. I would swear to God. Yo,
no, dude, I've seen
I promise you, this is my attitude on. If I ever land that day when we do the project that we're thinking about, and that happens, it's like you better fuck off. It's 10 at a time. You better get back online because there's no way I'm gonna hold up anyone from the opportunity to get me. You know what I mean?
But before the COVID hit, I went to GalaxyCon and I carried a short box with me, and that's just because there was a lot of people there. I wanted to sign some stuff, but I saw people putting
a lot of people.
I saw people putting a box up in front of a particular artist, and we're all sitting there in line going like, "This guy owns a store."
It's funny you mentioned that. The Surviving SuperCon is based on the owners of GalaxyCon. And so they sold SuperCon and made GalaxyCon, and I actually run all the media teams at all of the GalaxyCons nationwide now.
Steven,
so I'm also at GalaxyCon every time.
So Steven, just make sure to send Comic Crusaders any media related to GalaxyCon so we could post about it. If you need advertisement space, guess what? We got it too, kiddo.
Do you
do it up?
Do you have your own booth do you have your own booth at GalaxyCon, or are you just running multimedia for them? Or
no, I don't have my own booth. I do have a booth at a lot of different conventions. Like we'll have one at San Diego Comic-Con. Usually every year we'll have an Abyssmal space. I do a lot of the horror conventions out of Los Angeles. But at GalaxyCon, I'm kind of there just running the cruise. So it's not.
Oh my god!
I mean, is this GalaxyCon in Charlotte, North Carolina, by any chance?
There's one in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay,
there's Raleigh in Richmond, Virginia. Richmond's in 2 weeks, actually.
I'm so used to going to Heroes in Charlotte, but that was in.
So, all right, what? Don't make me take off my hat, but I'm tossing my hat into the ring. When you need some Florida people, right here, what's up? Hook up a booth. I'll do all the interviews for you, live, right there, yo. I got the tools. Make it happen, baby.
Next time I can make it to GalaxyCon, I definitely want to look you up.
I'll be there
face to face.
Yeah, Richmond, Virginia.
Florida, even better. We hook it up.
I mean, I was in Orlando for 15 years, so we would go to MegaCon. I had booths at MegaCon, and
I did my first MegaCon. I've not done a SuperCon, but now that it's different, as you said, and you're involved, just make sure I could get there, and I'll make sure to blast the shit out of the show.
Sure.
To show them how this is such an amazing program. Now, again, but I'm new to Florida. You got to teach me.
Now, how long? How long was the shoot for the con? Like, how long were you embedded
for the documentary,
with folks?
Yeah.
Oh, I got there 2 days before it, and I left the day after.
Ooh, you got the
the shortest shoot, but we had 4 camera teams that ran around. It was a 4-day convention.
How do you organize that? How do you organize that teamwork? How do you organize the time slots when you manage that type of team on the field?
Yeah,
Talk about that.
What we did is we kind of figured out the best way to follow everything from behind the scenes is to stick a camera person with the 2 heads of the convention and the head of operations. So then they just followed that person around all day, and then when something would happen, we would start rolling. But I mean, a lot of weird stuff happened.
Just to confirm, so you're not hitting record up until there's some type of action. So
correct.
The dude is walking
you're running
like this all day, and then something happens. Then record now.
Yep.
Nick, you never know when.
So you're waiting for the moment, basically.
And we had some of the Zoom F1 lavaliers that run for 12 hours on one battery.
Okay.
So we would lav them and run their audio all day. And then we would film whatever we needed to, and then just auto sync and post, and it would just sync it up to little chunks.
Speaking of which, what sort of cameras are you using?
For that documentary, we shot with a few actually. We shot with some Canon DSLRs as well as a Red and a couple Sony DSLRs.
What type of Reds and lenses?
The Reds are
I'm not
really
sure which
high
Red we
in
had.
HD camera.
I know,
we had one Red.
They'll see the zits on my face. You know, if I fart, they will see the gas flow up. That's how HD they are.
Yeah, and we've used Reds for a bunch of stuff. Alexas, you know, it all depends on the project.
You ever shot with the Black Magic?
You know, I haven't. We've had stuff colored in DaVinci, but I don't think I've shot anything with the Black Magic. I have friends that swear by them.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty amazing that they basically got like something the size of like a little digital camera, but that it can shoot such high quality film.
So one more thing for you here, because you know I don't want to take too much more of your time, because I know you're creating worlds, bro. Worlds.
Working
all right. So 2 questions here. Net is, are you working on anything else, Ghostbusters, possibly? Are you trying to expand this animated world, or we got something different coming?
I'm not expanding my animated world. The Sony has some other projects that they might be doing. Though I will say,
hit them up, bro. Come on, bro.
A funny, on a side note to this, during all of that, I actually got hired to write the Ghostbusters Afterlife video game. Which was very exciing. Which was really cool.
Well, congratulations!
So that's out now. It's an AR game on mobile. It's called Ghostbusters Afterlife Scare.
Wait a minute. How in the world did some video game company find Steven Shea and say, "Yo, did they see this movie and say you're perfect"? I mean, what happened?
It was through a friend of a friend. A friend of mine got offered it, and he's like, you know, Steven's a much bigger Ghostbuster fan than I am. You should probably talk to him.
Connection.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I've got a proton pack hanging on my wall. Like, yes, like I am a Ghostbuster fan. So I ended up getting it, and then I had to break down the Ghostbusters Afterlife script and figure out how all the characters. This was a year before it came out.
That is
like
so crazy.
How all the characters worked, and then you start writing for those actors, and all the actors are in the game. So it was really exciting. And then writing actors for Ghostbuster characters was nuts. Writing dialogue for them. But yeah, that game's out now, and we'll probably continue to expand and add stuff to it.
Nice.
Before I ask my last question, Bracey, give you another question.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a couple of quick questions.
Go ahead.
One, now that you've dipped your toes into the well of animation, do you have any other animated projects you want to tackle?
Yes. We're actually shopping 5 different animated series right now.
What? Damn, bro.
And we've developed a lot of different material for them. And one, we developed so much material that I think we're pretty much planning right now just to animate a feature in-house.
Anything you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah. That one is called Isla Monstro, and it'd be like a sci-fi R-rated comedy about a booze hound that wakes up on an island of the Caribbean that's an abandoned U.S. government DARPA military facility from the late 70s, where they mutated all of these soldiers and left them to rot on this island. And he gets an idea to turn the island into a luxury resort with all the mutants running it.
It sounds like something some Puerto Rican would do. Almega wakes up in the middle of an island. Hold on.
I love it. Talk about a theme hotel.
Exactly. And then the military finds out and they get upset.
Why are you gonna get upset, man? It's capitalism. What the fuck?
Well, they thought they destroyed it. They thought they destroyed the island. Then all of a sudden it goes viral on TikTok, and they got to figure out how to quietly erase it.
Man, when I got dancing zombies, it's the best. Come on.
So you said that you've made a feature before. What is it, and where can we find it to watch it?
Yeah, our latest is Surviving SuperCon, which is out on
the older film, because
the older films. The animated one we haven't done yet. That's the one we're working on now.
Try to make a full-length horror movie, because I would have been very interested in watching that.
Yeah, we've done a few. We've produced a bunch. We have some out now through different ways. We did a movie for Trauma too.
Oh, nice.
Doomsday County, which was a lot of fun.
I got to meet Lloyd before. He's a really nice guy.
Oh, he's great.
I met the big boss himself too, man. He's awesome.
And do you have any plans? I know you just mentioned talking about doing an animated feature, but do you have any plans for another live action project?
I mean, we're definitely always shopping things. studios, like trying to do more. I mean, of course, I'd love to do more live action.
Yeah.
Currently, we're producing. They haven't announced it yet, but we're helping produce a new series for NASA, which is really exciting and really cool. That's not horror, but more of docu-style series, but gets us a lot of really cool clearance with
Heck
NASA.
yeah.
So that we're working on right
man,
now too.
I would be so all about like getting the behind the scenes tour at NASA. Very nice.
I've been there multiple times now and recently, and it's
what a cool thing. You kind of get to visit home time.
A big shout out to the big homie Cooks. If you ain't watching Cooks, he's all over Instagram.
Nice.
And I think he would be a perfect show for you to go, Steven, because he also loves talking to creators and all. And I think he also loves the Ghostbusters. I mean, he's from down south, so I know he believes in ghosts.
Sure.
Yeah,
Awesome.
man. You're amazing, bro. I mean, your journey and all. I mean, and before we even ask you the question of, let's just show some love to the extended family that is GeekFest FilmFest real quick. I love that. It's such dramatic music. It makes me want to fight. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Bill. You get me all fucking violent over here. So, Steve, just before we go, talk about how you hooked up with the amazing film fest that is GeekFest, and
Sure.
And that journey.
Yeah, I had seen them around at different Comic-Cons, and when we made the fan film, you kind of look around and see what festivals offer fan films, and they're by far the biggest. And so they were one I definitely wanted to try to get on, because knowing the importance of Comic-Cons and how they work, especially after making our documentary, I definitely wanted to get more involved with them. So we were really excited to be able to get in and now get to tour.
Excellent. Let me tell you, people love it. People love GeekFest FilmFest at the cons that we go to. It's what it is. You need that entertainment, and it's not just about the comics, it's about the whole culture of it all. Thank you for being one of those creators that are bold and brave to step into that arena, if you will.
For sure.
And just put yourself out there, create. Look at you, learn something and you put it out. Like, bless, man. I mean, not many people are that brave. So, thank you for that, honestly.
Yeah, of course.
Just like Bracey, you're a creator too. So thank you too. You know the journey, right? It's hard to put your things out there. People talk shit, but you know what? They ain't paying your bills at the end of the day. So it doesn't even matter. Just do what you love all day, every day, because people will connect. Others will.
For sure.
That's all that matters. So, Steven, you keep creating. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Folks, I've been throwing this off nonstop. But the first thing you got to do is go visit Abyssmal.com, ABYSSMAL.com. Visit the website. Know what they're up to, but feel free to follow them on Instagram at Abyssmal Entertainment. And if you're going to go to Facebook and Twitter, it's Abyssmal ENT, folks. Check them out. All right. Of course, though, please check out GeekFest FilmFest at GeekFestLA.com. They are all about the independent film creator. No lie, and they're going to give you only the best content. I mean, proof is in the pudding. You just saw that trailer, and if you didn't, you better rewind this motherfucker after the show, so that way you can watch that awesome trailer to this amazing Ghostbusters fan film short. So thank you again. With that, Bracey, thanks for hanging out, bro. You rock.
Always a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me,
Steven. Any last words of encouragement for any future creators out there?
Just do it, right? That's the age-old try to figure out a way to make what you want. And it's going to be a hard road. I mean, it's hard across the board for everybody, but try to be as creative as you can and figure out what you can do with what you have, for sure.
There you go. Steven Shea has just said it. Just go for it, folks. Live your dream and don't be scared. You got it. And you know what? When you have people like us in your life that we're going to support you and give you the love and inspiration and motivation, just get it done, Don't be scared. Life is good, yo. Trust me. Just do it. And with that, I'm Omega with the amazing fellow comic crusader, cinema crusader, sloppy spoilerer, Mr. Bracey, and the big homie, the amazing future star, future legend. He's going to be an Academy Award winner one day, Mr. Steven Shea.
We'll see.
God bless. And with
Thanks so much.
It's the Comic Crusaders GeekFest Special, folks. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. ¡Wepa!
Thank you. We hope you've enjoyed this Comic Crusaders production. For real-time news on all things pop culture, please feel free to follow us on social media. For articles, original content, merchandise, and more, please go to www.comiccrusaders.shop. Also follow along with all of the websites in the Comic Crusaders family.